We are rolling. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Vegas Life Real Estate Podcast. My name is Chriscash.
Kevin Sherba.
A1 Alan Turner, the Rhythm Realtor.
Yes, we missed you last week, bro. Where were you at?
What were you doing? What you doing?
What you doing?
I'm a busy man. I'm in high demand, you know.
Oh, I like that. I understand.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
good.
You know,
I
we're going to go
understand.
across the land
I know you
and
would.
expand, you know?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
He's
hand
on the
in
flow.
hand, you know?
Don't you know?
Rhythm and flow.
Let's go. All right, on this episode, we are going to talk about entrepreneurial shit
In Vegas.
in Las Vegas, baby. Why Vegas is the entrepreneur hub? I think so. I think Vegas, like when I came to Vegas and I discovered the Vegas lifestyle, I was like, this lifestyle is for hustlers. I said hustlers because that's the terminology I be using, right?
Totally.
But I think entrepreneur is equivalent to hustler, right?
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the
Entrepreneur,
professional word
yeah.
for it. Right.
Right. Entrepreneur is the
It's a
professional word
It's the
for
scientific
hustler.
term for it,
Right.
actually.
Scientific is the chronicle. I don't know. I was just trying to say some random shit. Yeah. All right. So, what do you guys think?
Well, what I want to get back to real quick because we didn't have you on the last episode.
You're right.
It's the new year, right?
You're right.
This is the first time you've been on the show since the new year.
Oh, it's your
That's
first.
correct.
So how was your holiday?
It was great.
How was
got to spend
Kwanzaa?
time with the family.
See, I remember how was Kwanzaa.
And yeah, we actually got to join with some members of our congregation in the Buddhist group, and
Nice.
our numbers grew this year. So
Cool.
last year it was only 4 of us, and now it's 12 of us that got to
Okay.
share in the Kwanzaa experience.
Nice.
Nice.
So it was a nice
love it.
celebration.
Did you
I got
stay
a
here
new-
or did you go to Cali or?
No, I was here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
yes.
Got a new coffee maker,
Oh, hey,
and
yeah.
a espresso
you?
maker,
Nice.
and
You
a
told
party
me-
size.
Told me about what was up with the.
with the Cuban coffee.
Yeah.
Cuban bees.
So I've been making Cuban coffee
Yes.
for the last 4 weeks.
Very nice.
It's been great.
Yeah. I don't know if they know, the people that watch the show, that you brought it in for quite like
Cuban.
every episode that we did for all last year was Cuban coffee.
MVP.
Yeah.
Now that he's got his own maker, he doesn't bring it in for us though.
But shout out to Havana Grill and Bakery.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be stopping by because they have great pastries.
Yes,
by the way.
they do. So New Year's,
Challenge, because we talked a lot about challenges
Yes.
on the last episode. We don't call them resolutions.
nah.
Right.
Because I think that's got like a bad vibe or bad rap.
Absolutely.
People don't keep resolutions, but challenges. It's a daily challenge. So what are you doing this year? You
Yes.
think?
So my daily challenge is to, overall challenge is to take action. I'm not
Nice.
asking.
Action. Okay.
You ain't
Taking
asking.
action,
You're
not
taking
asking.
action.
Action. Just do it.
Just doing
Right.
it.
Nike.
You know,
Go ahead.
And faith over fear. So I guess
Faith
my
over
daily,
fear. I like
my
that too.
daily, my daily challenge is faith over fear.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So Kevin, how you been doing with your waking up when you're supposed to be waking up?
It's a little rough. It's a little rough.
Yeah,
You're right,
how's it
dude.
going?
You know
Yeah,
what?
so-
I wasn't prepared for that question.
How's the
I did not.
snooze
I did the
button?
snooze. I've
Stay
been doing
ready
the
and gotta
snooze.
get ready.
All right.
Gosh.
We're gonna try it again. It's a daily challenge. You know
Try
what
it
I mean?
again. Yeah. Well, I woke up when I was supposed to wake up. I thought about you guys because the podcast was today.
Yes.
I woke up.
Yeah, you know that's where it's different, right?
Okay.
We're recording on a Tuesday.
Yes.
So I probably, like I tried it on Monday. It
Behind
was a
the
little
scenes,
rough.
guys.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday, it was a little rough.
Uh-huh.
And then so
Yeah.
It's the beginning of the week.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
getting the
so
engines
by the end of
revving.
the week I might hit that challenge, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Possibly.
Okay.
It's really
So-
simple. Just do it, like how you just said.
All right,
Just
right.
do it.
Just
That's what I
take
thought.
action.
That's what I thought too. That's exactly what I thought this morning. I got up and I was like kind of groggy, I was just like, oh man, I could lay down again for real.
And then you were like, just do it.
Yeah, and I was like, what can get me out this funk? I took a cold shower for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How long did you take the cold shower for?
Just real quick.
Yeah,
I'm in there.
Like 15 seconds.
I'm in
like
there
a little
and
bar. Then I'm out.
And then immediately after I took the shower, I started shadow boxing. I was just
There you go.
shadow boxing in my underwear, waking up my kids.
That'll wake you up.
And
Yeah,
then-
I did it. I did it today. So I listened to the last show.
Uh-huh.
So I got back into the cold showers. I did
Yeah.
it for a verse. So
Yeah.
that's about 35, 40 seconds.
Oh, okay. Oh, you
Yeah.
over there
Okay.
rapping? Okay,
Yeah,
that's
you know
good.
what I'm saying? So-
That's good. Do you wear something for your hair?
No, I just let it flow.
You let it flow, okay? Because that's tough. That's what my wife says. Because when you take a cold shower, you hop out. She has hair, it's a little colder still. You feel me?
You know, I didn't do the face. I just did the
yeah.
body. I did the front.
Oh,
and then I
okay.
did the back.
Yeah. So you lied to me. Okay. Okay.
I didn't do the face. I did that last.
I would think it'd be more shocking to like let it like pour over your head.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to get my hair wet because it's the wintertime and
That's
it's
what
cold
that was
and
the point I
flu
was making,
and
so.
sickness is swirling around.
Does that really work though?
What, cold shower? Yes.
No, I'm talking about being cold. Does it give you a cold? Or
I
is
think
that
it just has something to do with your body temperature and
Right.
being in different climates. So,
No.
Okay.
it shocks your system
I don't know.
in the negative way.
I don't know what it is. I
It's
think
an old wives' tale. You're
I
saying?
think I think it is.
it's all about just
I think
the
it's a myth.
viruses or the bacteria or whatever that is what gives you the cold. It's
Right.
just when you're cold, your body is more acceptable
Okay.
to those
All right.
to those things.
I see. Susceptible.
Susceptible.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
did talk about the things that we talk about on this show, and
Yes.
that we might say that we know this shit,
Oh yeah.
but we're gonna get scientists on here. At some point.
Yeah.
That'd be
You
really
said
cool.
the
Like, maybe
sleep,
we
the
should have,
sleep
like, a-
scientist.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna get the.
Maybe we should
Oh,
get sleep
yeah.
scientists. So now we
Yeah.
also need just an MD, a doctor, to tell
MD.
us is
Not
being in
WebMD?
the cold.
No.
Well, I mean, you
Right.
could WebMD it.
No
That'd be
way.
easier.
I hate Wendy. So negative.
Those
It's
guys
like,
are busy.
you're gonna die. I'm
Yeah.
like, what? I
You're
just
like,
have a cold.
I think we'll probably
Yes.
get.
No,
we'll
no.
be able to get a nurse on before we'll get a doctor on.
You said
So,
what? Get a
Okay.
what?
Get a nurse on.
That's
yeah.
yeah. I like that idea too.
because
I love
doctors
nurses.
are busy.
Right.
Yeah,
They're in high demand.
yeah. I can get a pharmacist on here.
I thought you.
Yep, I know.
I
know.
thought you were.
I got you.
This is
Don't worry about that.
in past life.
No,
In the
no.
past.
Like, so my wife's friend became a pharmacist.
Okay.
She went to school, and after she made X amount, or after she got her whatever, became a pharmacist and made the salary that she wanted to make, and then got the student debt. My wife makes more like bartending than
Right.
being a pharmacist. So
Really?
Vegas life, only in Vegas though, right?
Got to be a
Yeah.
hustler.
You know what I'm saying? Because one thing I like about Vegas, and I think that Vegas is a good entrepreneurial spot, is that Vegas has a lot of industries where you can work part-time and make pretty good money
Yep.
to spend time on your business.
Yeah.
So a lot of the nightlife or hospitality jobs are focused on, the weekends or,
Yeah.
or nighttime stuff. So that gives you free time to be able to, work on your business.
Speaking
Be an
of which-
entrepreneur.
I think there's also. Sorry to cut you off, but I
It's all
think
good.
there's also when people move from, like, let's say California, right, to Vegas. I think there's less competition,
Yeah.
and so you have more
absolutely.
of an opportunity to open your own business because it's not so
saturated.
saturated.
Yeah, it's not a lot of people, so
So
compared-
speaking of which, for you realtors out there, I know it was a rough year. It's been a rough few years. Yeah, you really got to be a hustler to survive in this market.
Right.
And I've taken on a few side hustles over the years. One of which was TaskRabbit. And
Excuse me?
Yeah, TaskRabbit. It's
TaskRabbit.
yeah, it's an app
TaskRabbit.
service.
Oh.
Actually, I think IKEA
Ah.
funded it, so you
Okay.
can be tasked to do different things like moving, help people move,
Okay.
building building things from IKEA and Amazon.
see.
Putting up TVs.
Yeah, mounting
wow.
TVs. So
Yeah, you were doing that for a while.
I
Was
did
that part of
for-
it?
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Okay.
that's where I met our guest for today,
Oh, okay.
Zachary
Oh, nice.
DeVon.
Oh, wow.
I helped him build some stuff from Temu. So,
Okay.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
So you
we're
got like a website for that, or
It's an app.
okay?
Yeah. So I broke my
Super
leg broke my ankle a year ago,
Yeah.
about a year ago,
Yeah.
and I wasn't doing much, and I was just laid up, and my friend told me about the service, and I signed up.
Sounds entrepreneurial to me.
And
Yeah.
I got in there, and he was one of the first people that I met on my on my
Nice.
first couple jobs. So
Oh, so he hired you on that?
yeah, yep.
Ah.
Yep.
Very cool.
Which
Cool.
also now turns into a lead source
Yeah,
There
absolutely.
you go.
Very nice.
And a guest for the show.
yeah.
and a guest for the show.
So speak about the guest. What's this guy's deal? Come on.
So
What's
he
his name?
is the creator and founder of Muse Workspaces.
Okay.
It's something similar to WeWork.
Okay.
Zachary DeVon, he's multi-talented, entrepreneurial. Like, if we're talking about entrepreneurials, like, this is the guy.
Okay.
Okay. Nice. Love
So
it.
he's been in music, he's been a personality on TV, and now he's opening a chain of workspace, cultural and creative workspaces.
Nice.
So yeah, we're
excited.
looking forward to opening a one here in Las Vegas here pretty soon in the next couple months.
Nice.
They have one in Houston and Orlando, Florida. right now.
Sweet. Super sweet.
So yeah, you can come in there. We can do whatever you want. Like there's meeting spaces, there's office space. Like, so if you want to have an office space, you have that opportunity. There's like Nook spaces so you can make phone calls. There's mini office spaces.
Let me ask you this. This is a good question.
Yeah.
'Cause maybe it's something we could talk about with him, and it might be maybe a tip for his business.
Yeah.
Does he have a studio space?
Yeah. There's
He has studio
there's,
spaces?
there's so you can rent whole offices and you can outfit it to whatever your
you want.
specifications are.
Right.
Yeah.
Very
I
nice.
meant like turnkey,
turnkey, ready
like
to go.
already ready to rock. You know what I mean?
Maybe. I mean, he's in music, so he might
That would be a
have
good
something
idea,
in
right?
mind. Yeah.
I mean, especially these days with everybody and their mom having a podcast.
Yeah. We can ask him.
Yeah, that's a great question.
They'd be
Yeah.
like, you
Maybe
know what?
get a
That's a
spot.
good
Maybe
idea.
lock down a spot for the home of Vegas Live Podcast.
Boom.
Then I have to go there. I mean, I like staying at the office.
It's not far.
Where is it at?
It's not far.
It's by the airport actually.
What if we just have multiple offices and just shoot everywhere? Just go boom, boom.
We haven't
boom,
done an
boom,
on
boom,
the
boom,
road
boom,
Vegas
boom,
Live
boom.
podcast yet, an on the road one.
We should.
Are you down? Where should we do it at? We
Go out
should
in
do
the
it.
field.
We should do it at Twin Peaks, baby. Yes.
Baby.
Yes.
A lot of motivation.
Great. So also like Vegas is just really tax friendly, right? As well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
A lot
I mean,
of
I
advantages.
think it's tax friendly when it comes to like being a worker, like because we don't have a state income tax.
Right.
When it comes to business, I don't think they are as tax friendly as you might think.
Really?
Right.
Interesting.
But things are cheaper and there's less competition
But
here.
opening a business though, it's.
I think
really
there's more
affordable.
business tax here.
Oh, really?
I heard
Right.
it's one of the more affordable places. to
Well,
open
yeah, I mean,
business.
as compared to California, yeah.
Right.
But it's not free like it is when you come out here as a worker.
Right.
You're not just getting zero state tax.
Right.
When you have a business, there is a business tax or in a city tax like Henderson or
Yeah.
Las Vegas. But
Hinder Tuck.
And another thing, I think Vegas is a great entrepreneurial place too. Is every industry has a huge convention here. Like
Right.
like any information or people that you want to meet. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna swing through here sometime of the year.
Yeah,
you know,
can
because they have
bump
the
right into them.
big conventions coming in, and
It's convention season right now. What do we got? We got what, AVN right now.
yes, your favorite convention right there, AVN. Yep.
I mean,
It's good, right?
You been to AVN or what?
no,
Yeah. No.
you know,
Sucks for you.
entertainment.
Yeah.
We're entertainment capital
Of the world.
or
Christ.
destination.
Yes. Other reasons for Vegas being the entrepreneurial hub. No, you don't know.
I think we covered it.
That's it.
You're
huh?
right.
That's it. Well,
yeah. I mean, we're gonna ask him how it was and why he picked Vegas.
yeah.
Because if he's in other states, right, then what was the drive to do a Las Vegas one?
I mean, I think it's a high turnover too. Like, there's a lot of people that come in and out. They
And
have
they-
to do
they start their own business,
You know what
right?
I'm saying? They
Oh,
got a
yeah.
meeting. They want to have a meeting. What better place to have flexibility to come to a place you can throw a meeting, for your team or
Right.
possible clients.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I'm trying to think how do people usually do it? They just go to Starbucks now? Like is that what it is? Or they rent out the hotel
Like office or
thingies?
what?
Or is that what they do?
I mean, I think the most cost effective would be like, Starbucks.
Starbucks would be the.
With
common
my
thing.
brokerage,
I guess depends on the business.
with my
right?
brokerage, we have access to Regis, which they have several
Right.
locations all over town, all over the world. So we get access to the one at like Town Square. But when I first started, we were actually at WeWork. Like one of the
Okay.
teams actually had a dedicated office space at
At
WeWork.
rework, okay.
Okay.
So it's a stepping stone.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to be doing like a WeWork setup, or our guest's company is
Muse.
Muse.
setup, that's probably
Yeah.
someone who's going to just get into business, rent a small office, get things going, and then as they become more successful, you're probably going to move into your own space at some point.
Right.
Because I'm sure it's easy. It's plug and play, right?
Yeah.
Desks are in there, chairs are like you don't have to
Exactly.
buy anything. You just go in, pay rent. At least we'll ask him when he's here.
Yeah.
But I think it's the I guess the sought after thing with that is that it's plug and play.
Yeah, and it's
So-
and I believe it's membership based too. So
Okay.
based on the size of your company or your team and your
Right.
needs, would determine your membership. But I mean, it's also you have access to printing, and also like different like hybrid meeting spaces as well
Right.
that come with your office space.
That's what I was thinking too, because printing is like a big thing. Like whenever you want to print something.
You're trying to go to FedEx Kinko's?
No, we don't. No, we don't do that.
He's on. No, I go to GFL Capital actually.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Okay.
We actually bought we bought one printer.
Yeah.
Like $100 or $1,000 printer, but we got it off OfferUp or whatever, so we got super
Cheaper.
cheap. And then the guy that met us was like, "Do you want to have this second one too, for free?"
You gotta buy one get one free.
He was like, "Yeah," because I guess the dude, he used to own all these, or
Industrial.
or yeah, like a
grade,
company where
Where he needed him.
yeah, and then I guess he doesn't do that no more. Them
Yeah.
things is heavy, bro.
Well, that's why he was like, "Do you want this one?"
Just get rid
What
of
are you gonna,
this.
He's like,
what are you
"Please
gonna
take
do
it."
if it needs service?
They got a number on it.
Yeah.
A warranty?
No, they have a number on the machine usually.
Oh.
There's companies that service them. There's companies that refurbish them. I know because we just recently had 2 of our printers go out here at the office, and we got a new one. But yeah, same thing. We were like, "Can you take these old ones, please?" So luckily, we had a person that was going to take them and do some recycle work with them. So.
Sweet. That reminds me, I got to print some stuff up. Thanks. Appreciate that.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Another challenge too, though. We were talking about doing some workshops. Whatever happened with
Oh,
that?
there we go. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Got a whole plan ready to go. We're going to do some workshops. We're going to do like a whole speaking event seminar.
Okay.
All right. You know what we're going to call it? We're going to call it Las Vegas is for sale. Level up your game.
I like it.
Did you just come up with that right now?
Bro, it's been
Freestyling.
bro, you know, he said
Level up your game.
bow. We're shooting for we're going to shoot for February, mid-February, right? Is that enough
Yeah.
time for everybody?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. We're
So
gonna speak, you're
our
gonna speak,
title
we're gonna speak.
partners. If you have spaces available, we're gonna be asking for you to donate your space and time so we can get the
Yeah.
word out to the people.
Yeah, it's gonna be
All right,
big.
man.
I'm very excited about it because I try to figure out something to, transmute my energy into something that's super effective. And I think doing events and being a speaker and creating that environment to motivate people to better their lives.
I love it.
You know what I mean? Let's do that.
Bless your heart.
He's
Las Vegas is for sale. Level up your game.
right.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break.
And we'll
then,
be back with Zach.
Zachary DeVon
Yeah.
of
Muse.
Muse Workspace.
All right.
We'll be back after this.
All right.
Are you thinking about moving to Las Vegas? Here's what you need to know, because it's way more than just bright lights and casinos. On the Vegas Live podcast, we are going to break down the best neighborhoods for families, where to find the top-rated schools, and which communities fit your lifestyle, whether you're all about luxury or outdoor living or that high-rise city vibe. We got you covered. We got episodes packed with tips for first-time home buyers, inside info for the Vegas job market, and even a look at some of the coolest celebrity homes around.
Don't just take our word for it. Each week, we give you the full scoop on what makes Vegas an incredible place to live and the info you need to make the move.
So if you're ready to discover the real Vegas beyond the Strip, check out the Vegas Live podcast, available on all streaming platforms. Hit that link in the bio and start exploring.
All right. We are back to the Vegas Life Real Estate Podcast. My name is Chris Cash.
A1 Alan Turner, the Rhythm Realtor.
Kevin Sherba, GFL Capital Mortgage.
And we got a special guest in the building. Can you introduce him?
Zachary DeVon.
Hey,
What's going on, everybody?
There he is.
how
Live
are
in
you
the
doing,
flesh.
my man?
Good, man.
So basically, he was telling me that you create workspaces for entrepreneurs in like you're doing something different than what the normal guys are doing,
Yeah,
right?
so we're driving community. So and I think I have to kind of start with the history of how everything developed.
Okay.
And it was very organic. So my start was in the music industry, and this was when I was in my 20s. So over like 15 years ago.
Okay.
I know they're like, what? 15 years ago? Yeah, I'm that old. So,
Okay.
you
You look great.
No, man.
You look great.
They said black don't crack, Asian don't raisin. I got
There you go.
Got the
right?
best of both worlds.
Let's go.
Bow.
Yeah. So, 2018, I was just exiting the music industry at that time. I had a 4-year residency here at Chateau, which was a club in
Paris.
Paris. Yeah.
Look at him.
Know that,
So as an R&B artist, so that's kind of how I got everything started. We opened a company right around the same time in tandem with my brand called Melodic Soul Enterprises, and we did a lot of social media marketing, branding, career development for like different music artists as well, but then also influencer marketing. At that time, social media wasn't a necessity; it was more of a luxury.
Right.
So we got into the market pretty early, and it became pretty lucrative. That was a multi-million-dollar company that we developed, but I got so tired of the volatility with the clients, and it was like every day, people change their minds and their opinions, and whenever you're in an opinion-based business, it's a lot of back and forth, late nights on calls, trying to satisfy people in their opinions, and they want to change things, and then you get the grunt of the work, and then you get blamed for a lot of things. So I'm like,
at the time, to clarify, who were your clients at that time?
so one of our biggest clients was Monster Products. They're the guys that did Beats by Dre, the Monster audio cables. And we did a lot of really big campaigns. My staff actually took pictures, filmed, licensed music and stuff for a campaign we did with Shaquille O'Neal for his waterproof speaker that premiered at CES like 2017.
Nice.
So, and then we did the In My DNA project as well. So my music actually was on a lot of the in-cap displays and stuff because they wanted to save money. They wanted to use more like independent artists, so they don't have to pay like a grip to like Chris Brown
copyrights
or somebody big.
and licensing.
So and the labels were murdering people at that time. So so in the midst of things, I started kind of branching out and going back to Houston, which I went to high school there. I originally from Inglewood, California, but I went to high school in Houston, and I went back there. We did marketing for a company called Level Office, and at that time they were competing with WeWork, and you guys are familiar with WeWork, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So even though obviously they made a lot of bad choices, but they changed the industry and how we look at like office spaces and building community, and really it's kind of shocked the waters for commercial real estate in general because people are looking at office spaces in a totally different way.
Right.
And so I thought it was a really great concept because they were building community, they're bringing resources in for business owners, everything from like how to create an LLC to getting lending, building your business credit, your PAYDEX score, all those things were really important. And I think knowledge is a big base, within especially the Black and underserved communities, which I work closely with as far as an activist. We weren't really there. We didn't have a lot of resources and places to be in.
Or representation too.
Right.
Yeah.
So we were with them for like about 4 years, and when I decided to kind of outgrow them because we needed more space and they couldn't accommodate for it, we left to build our own space just for the marketing company. So co-working was never really in my rearview mirror. It was never a plan. But their clients called us and they were like, hey, we love that you guys, bought so much sense of community. You connected us with so many different vendors. During Super Bowl, I had connections with CAA, so I bought in a lot of like the players, from like the Chiefs, and just to come in there and do like gifting suites and promotions for other brands. So it was a lot of great value added for those members. So when we left, they wanted to come with us. They're like, the space was like dead. They didn't want to be there.
Right.
So they're like, well, why don't you build out your own space? And I'm like, I don't have any idea how to run a co-working space. And they're like, well, no, you do. They're like, you literally ran all the community activities. And that's really what it is we can run the space ourselves, as a business owner, but we need somebody to build that community. So that's when I came up with Muse. I'm like, it was kind of an inspirational thing. So that's why I called it Muse.
Yeah.
And we looked at different spaces in Houston. It was like my first go around, and I found a really cool empty shell space. And no experience at all. I just like, screw it, I'm gonna take a chance and pull the trigger. So we designed everything super modern, just like multiple rooms and different like unique spaces. We even have like a secret space behind a bookshelf where they can go in like
speakeasy.
Speakeasy style. Yeah.
Nice.
So
Nice.
I'm all about creative spaces because your atmosphere really inspires
Absolutely.
you to like work well and perform well. And I took a page out of Starbucks when they were actually doing successful, is that third space that we talk about, when it's between home and work. You are at work, a lot of workplaces it's very stiff, suit and tie. Yeah. Our space is more like dressed down. You come in, some people might be in tracksuits, some might be in business casual. Whatever you feel like, you're good there. Yeah. So you're not judged. But in the space, we screen the clients that come in to make sure that the communities complement each other. So making sure that the businesses that are in there, can benefit from each other. And we try to, do some soft background checks to make sure that, we're not bringing in people with like financial crimes and things like that. Right. Because you never know who you're going to network with. And I don't want to be responsible for building a community that could tear another business down. Right. So we took that level of responsibility, which a lot of offices don't. And then my employees too, the way I train them, it's very hospitality driven. So instead of them trying to, just get a quick sale and churn people out, we're big on longevity and helping the businesses grow and scale with them. So, as they grow, a lot of the businesses that we get into the space, they're more digital, so they need space, but not permanent space and a lot of space to take up. So, we're always adding more conference rooms, more resources, podcasting, capabilities, kind of like what you guys have here. Yeah. So I'm liking the space here, it's
super dope.
Before you came in, we were talking about, he was talking about what it kind of was, and we want to get clarification from you. And I was like, does he have studio space too?
Yeah.
Is it turnkey?
Yeah, it is.
Nice.
So our spaces are, just like any other co-working space, it's open 24/7, we control everything. There's different levels of membership, and I think that's what also makes our space different. Because I've seen a lot of spaces in big markets where you walk in and it's either, oh, we know you can't afford this kind of thing, and I don't want anybody to feel like they can't ever afford anything, even if something's small. So like it's a wide range of products. So if you're just starting out, you can get, a virtual address for like, $20, right? Right. Nice. Granted, you can't come in, you can't use this facilities unless you're paying extra, but you get discounts for just being a recurring member with us.
Super dope.
Nice. And then, of course, it goes up to actually having a mailbox there that you can come in 24/7 and access it. We give like a free hour of conference room time to all the conference rooms that we have, so they can kind of sample. Obviously, that helps us drive sales as well, for them to come in and utilize the space and see how effective it is.
And there's a secretary up front too, or like a
so we have. I'm getting to that too because operating the business itself, since we're in the middle of franchising right now, it's actually very low overhead. We have one community manager that does everything from like the customer relations, the billing, just really retention of the membership, doing the community activities and organizing things. And she's more like a project manager.
Right.
And then I try to pretty much streamline everything as far as like things that are like regular, like day-to-day questions and stuff. So we have a digital team that supports the entire franchise. Wow. So if they call in a number, they'll get a main line, and there'll be a virtual team there that will answer questions and stuff for them, after hours or during business hours. And then they'll triage it to the specific location for a sale or whatever that's needed. Nice. And then our apps and technology are big for me, so it reduces like a lot of manual labor. Right. So when we started, I think that was one of our biggest struggles where we couldn't scale because we did everything manually, which is great, but being able to open an app, book your own conference rooms, book your own, podcast times and stuff like that, and have an allowance and a balance. We took about a year, and my director of marketing, I worked on, the user interface, to make sure that the UI makes sense and it's easy for people to use. Right. So we have an app on the App Store now and, the Android store under Muse Office. It's MUZE. So if you guys, ever are in an area where there's a location, you can download it and you can access it. Right. And then part of last year when we started doing the franchises, I'm connecting all the spaces, regardless if it's a flagship that I own or if it's a franchise location. People can drop in using the app. So when they drop into one location, the primary location pays the new location that they dropped in for that prorated day. So that way there's, some accessibility for you. If you travel, you can always come in and and other spaces.
That's huge because like WeWork doesn't work that way. Like if you belong to one location, you can only go to that one.
That's actually super smart. I mean, the more locations, and if you're franchising, your plan is to have a lot of locations.
And then I took a lot of, negative, notes that where WeWork failed, and even the company that we marketed for failed and proved on that, So it's the customer experience. I feel like WeWork does a lot of like small partnerships, and every location is a different experience.
Right.
And that's not good whenever you're trying to scale a business, you know, and create
Right.
a franchise. You want that same experience for the customer everywhere they go. And for us, that means, you know, making sure that our franchisees use the same vendors, you know, the same marketing tactics and styles. So we're not like, you know, if John Smith is going to one in Miami and one in Vegas, he's getting the same experience. It might be different people and different opportunities, but like he knows like when I'm here, I'm safe. My business, you know, is like valued. You know, I have all the resources I need to do. what I need
You
to do.
set the expectation correctly. Yeah.
And so before we had you on the show, we were talking about entrepreneurship in Vegas, Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Where are your locations? Where did you start?
So I started in Houston, Texas. So the biggest advantage that we had in Texas was it's almost like stepping in a time machine and going back 3 years. You know, sorry guys, but Houston is very behind. But 3 years behind everything. You know, when and I'm a numbers guy too. So my background, I did a little bit of time in corporate where I did like informatics, so behavioral science and consumer studies. So we looked at the market penetration for Houston, and at that time, I think in 2018 when I was developing the company, everything was like less than 1% in Houston as far as like co-working spaces. People don't even know what that concept was, which blew my mind because, you know, here, you know, New York, LA, everybody was like 12 to 15% market saturation because they already knew what was going on. It was more common. And then, of course, Texas, there's so much space. People are still stuck in that old commercial, you know, like I need to rent an office and I need to get all these things, you know, before I can start my business, which, you know, it's a lot of high overhead.
It could take a lot of time, a long time to set up too.
Right. So we were kind of trailblazers in Houston. We had to get them to understand that, you know, you don't need to, you know, rent a huge space that's going to cost you $5,000 a month to start your business, because a lot of the amenities and things that you're using are fragmented. Like you only need them 10% of the time. So why are you paying for all that extra space? And, you know, so it's really compared apples to oranges. So the biggest challenge for us at that time was convincing people, like, you know, they'll walk in, they're like, okay, well, you know, an office like this size would be like a 2 to 3 person office, and they're paying, you know, $1,100 a month. There's like, oh, that's expensive, and you know, I can get a 2,000 square foot space for $800, you know.
Right.
And I'm like, well, yeah, it's probably gonna be in a bad area.
Yeah, right.
It's not gonna be modern. You don't have enough, you know, like there's no conference rooms, so you have to account for that. There's not a break room. There's not a kitchenette. You know,
You got to
still have
build it
pay
out.
Yeah, you got to build it out, and then you have to pay for utilities, internet, which is included with us, you know, and like reception service, you know, check-in service, all that stuff. So you add all that stuff up, you're paying more than $1,200 a month for your office. You're paying like $6,000 at least, you know. That's not counting salaries for like administrative staff, which we already have to cover for you.
Wow.
So it's a win-win, and I love the scale in the model of the business because like I can sleep at night because I know even though I'm making money, I'm also helping other clients, you know, grow their business and conserve on, you know, spending and overhead.
That's dope.
Then you also mentioned something about I don't know if it was your space or the other space that you guys gave classes on teaching entrepreneurs how to like either find financing or run their business.
Yeah,
and stuff like
so
that.
we have partnerships, you know, and perks, you know, with our app. One of the biggest things for me is like work-life balance. So we, you know, make sure that not only are we helping them stay financially fit, but also like physically fit. So we actually did a corporate partnership with Equinox Gyms, which was really big, like 2 years ago. I don't know why we don't have one out here. You know,
we got Lifetime here. That's
yeah,
I'm not Lifetime guy right here.
Salesman over
yeah.
here.
I think Lifetime is more like geared towards like family. It is still high end.
Yeah.
And then technically they're one of our competitors, so we can't partner with them because they have LifeWorks, which is their co-working style.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
No, I've seen
It's
that.
not as nice
Similar.
as our spaces, but you know.
It's extra on the membership, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what? How much for this? Nobody goes in here.
Yeah, you literally can just sit on the couches in the front lobby and work if you want to.
Exactly.
Like, why do you have to pay for
Yeah.
that? So, but I do love the partnership with Equinox because, you know, they also have, you know, like networking events and stuff like that. And, you know, they also vet their clients as well because you're talking about, you know, like the CEO of Apple goes to Equinox, you know, so
Nice.
you're around a lot of people that, you know, will help you elevate your business because you're what the energy around you is, you know, and so that influences you a lot. So working with them helped us grow our business and scale our business as well. And then our membership gets discounts on the gyms, and they get to go to all the networking events being an affiliate.
Well, that's it. We got to
sounds
bring
dope.
Equinox out here then.
That sounds dope.
Yeah, and then Capital One Cafe, I partnered up with them in Houston to do a lot of financial literacy classes because they target more. They're like a co-working style bank now. I think we have one here in Fashion Show. But if you guys ever go there, it's a really cool concept. But they get during business hours, they give like free like meeting spaces to like nonprofits and stuff. But people that actually need space and to rent space and stuff that are not nonprofit, they refer over to us. So it's a really good relationship.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Super dope. So again, to reiterate how your business came about, you were working at a co-working space with your company. You built your community, and then when you left that, the
community followed us.
The community
Nice.
followed you.
Yeah.
So what are some things that is staples in your community that makes it stand out or be different?
It's really the people and the boutique feel. I was telling Alan too, like if you go to Regis, you go to WeWork, you go to the Industrious or any of our other like corporate competitors, it feels really cold. It feels like you're a number. You know?
Yeah.
So and then
They look at you like, why are you here?
Yeah, exactly. And then we don't allow any corporate companies into our spaces, and that's to protect the membership and the value of the spaces because we want to keep it boutique.
Small business.
Yeah, small business. So, and I love it because I know we're doing a development right now in, we as the city of Vegas, right, doing one in Summerlin where I think you guys heard it's going to be next to the Summerlin Studios. It's like a whole like $5 million development where it's only small business and local businesses in there.
That's awesome.
So it's pretty, dope. So I'm thinking about maybe doing another location out there. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But right now I'm building one here. That's why I moved back to Vegas off of Sunset and Bermuda. So it's going to be close to the airport.
Yep.
5 minutes from
Town
the
Square.
Strip. 2 minutes from Town Square. It's a really great location, and then we have a really great landlord and partner with ResortCom. It's going to be a 7,100 square foot facility, 25 offices, like a really big studio and like meeting space for conventions and stuff.
Nice.
And then I'm bringing in also a photography and video studio in there too with my connections in the music industry and the film industry. So we'll have a lot of resources there for any type of business to come in and thrive.
When is that projected to?
We should be done by mid-March. So of course you guys will get the invite. For
Yeah,
the
sure.
show.
Turn up.
Maybe we can do a show.
Yeah.
That could be a show on the road, man.
Yeah, a show on
Camera.
the road.
Yeah, you
Nice.
guys can christen the podcast room.
There we
There you
go.
go.
I love it.
Yeah.
Nice,
Our
nice.
colors are yellow, so
It'll be all right.
We'll figure it out.
So why do you think entrepreneurs and businesses gravitate to Vegas?
Right now, because we're such a hub, and I saw that before we got all these resources coming in, with the sports teams and now with the new transportation that's being developed between here and LA. Everybody comes in here from different markets, and I think we've meshed really well. The Vegas market, we're not afraid to take risk. And I think a lot of other markets, especially in the South, I see people are super conservative, and you can't grow if you don't take the risks necessary. Calculated risk, don't take a dumb risk, and
Right.
just jump without looking. But yeah.
$100 on 30. Let's go.
And you had said that you had the Houston, Texas, and there was another state, right?
Yeah, so
Florida.
we're working on South Florida right now. So that's one of our first franchisees.
Okay.
We ran, so during COVID, because we actually opened right before COVID hit.
Oh, wow.
And-
Wow,
Perfect
what
timing.
Classic.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I was like, dang, it was bad timing. But to be honest, for me, I recycle bad energy and turn it into good.
Love
And
that,
I'm
yeah.
always like half glass full.
Right.
And we survived that because of the support of the community, and it showed like how resilient our brand is. And I think that's why it's allowed us to grow now. Because I'm always very, I always underestimate myself, and I underpromise and overdeliver.
Right.
So with the 5 years of data that we have and the proof of concept, like our franchisees, our investors and everything feel very confident because they're looking at numbers, for the past 5 years that include COVID. And the fact that we stayed profitable, even having 2 years of, bad revenue,
Right.
and I'm not embarrassed to say that because everybody's hurting during COVID, and everybody makes mistakes, but we were able to pull ourselves out of there because we learned, and then, focusing on our membership retention and being loyal to our customers are what really kept us around.
Nice.
Yeah, and I started a social movement. Social media is like my main, I guess you could say backbone for what I do. We started a campaign on TikTok at the time for it's called #VerifiedBlack. and it was to support Black entrepreneurs and like people in the underserved communities, POC, because a lot of the content was getting blocked around that time, and I wanted to show that instead of all the the social justice stuff, which is great, we need that, but like where can we see like positive things being done within the community? So I started, and it blew up to like 4.2 million like views on the hashtag.
Oh, wow.
People were putting the the like little blue check mark with the black fist on their profiles, and it turned into a movement, and it inspired so many people. And I honestly, I like to be transparent. I started it because my content was getting blocked. Wow. So, and I'm like, somebody has to say something about this, and then TikTok Diversity and Inclusion actually reached out to me. We started a campaign that, tied in with like the like creators and the influencers to teach them how to maximize their brand and business as well.
Nice.
That's
Dope.
And you're from Las Vegas, so that's why you chose to also come here for the business? Or?
I'm from California. I'm from Inglewood. So I'm a transplant here, but I love the city here because when I started, coming here in 2012 and, started working on the residency and everything here, I just felt like the city was welcoming. LA is LA. I love the weather. Don't really care for the people.
Right.
It's overrated.
It is overrated.
But shout outs to LA though.
Yeah. I still represent Inglewood 3.0. Yeah. And then Houston, I love the Southern hospitality, but people were so slow on moving on things.
Right.
So I think Vegas was like a great combination of both. Like we had opportunity. But people also were not afraid to take risks and step outside their comfort zone. So, I mean, this is my adopted city, but I love it here.
Yeah.
Happy to have you here.
We're gonna take a
Thankful
quick.
I met you.
We're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll be back
With Zach.
There you go.
Free game freestyle. Let me show you how to buy a home. Part 1.
How to buy a home, I'ma show you how to do it first off. Are you ready? Cause you gon' have to prove it, so you need to have a job to prove a steady cash flow for at least 2 years to get a mortgage loan. Next up, we gon' talk about your DTI. Take your monthly debt and divide by your income every month that you gon' get. Make sure that ratio ain't too high. So you gon' wanna keep that debt to income ratio at least under 36%. Credit, gotta have good credit. Send me a DM, I can show you how to get it. Next question. What can you afford? Last thing you want is to be house poor. Don't spend more than 30% of what you net, cause you don't wanna sweat. Now what you got saved for the down payment? Trust me, this is better than forever paying rent. 3% down at a home price, and you could be an owner in no time. Chriscash representing this Vegas life. Part 2 coming up in my next rhyme.
Las Vegas is for sale.
We are back to the Vegas Live podcast. My name is Chris Cash.
A1, Alan Turner, the Rhythm Realtor.
Kevin Sherba, 20-year mortgage veteran.
Okay.
And
Zachary DeVon with Muse Office.
There you
Nice.
go. Where did we
Look
leave
at
off
'em.
at? Where did we leave off
we
at?
left off at
The new office, the new space, right?
new space here in Las Vegas.
Yes.
The plan.
Oh, the plans for it.
The plans.
Set to be launching in March.
Yep, March.
Okay.
We're probably gonna do our grand opening in April, so March is gonna be a soft opening, and of course, I'll invite you guys to come out to see the space, everything.
Thank
We're
you.
calling it Muse Paradise Las Vegas since it's in
Paradise,
Paradise.
yeah.
So
Super dope.
So that's gonna be like our theme. It's gonna be like a desert oasis.
Oh,
Super dope.
Yeah.
Nice.
Where's the location? The cross streets? You said Sunset
and Bermuda.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like right off the 215 West. So when you exit, you'll actually see the business park and our signage. We're right next to the Siemens building.
Okay.
So yeah.
So when you're coming off the airport bypass,
Yeah.
it splits 3 ways. So it either goes 215 East
or
Warm Springs, or 215
okay.
West.
Okay.
It's on
Yeah.
that frontage road though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you get on the frontage road to go.
by the where is it?
Yeah.
Where's
Bar-
The rental car
Bermuda.
center. We're right
Right.
across
Car.
the
Yeah.
freeway
Exactly.
from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually used to work at Sprint at the call center in that same like parking lot.
Okay.
So I know exactly
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
it is.
The resort
Yeah.
com call center.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So they're
Yeah.
the actual landlord. So they
Yeah.
own a lot of
Yep.
space, and I felt so welcome because like their CFO came out just to speak to me because they're so excited about me bringing this concept to Vegas. So we have a great partnership with them. So if we have any interested people that want to do like be an operator of the franchise, like we have resources for them here in the city too.
Right. And someone who might be interested in looking into Muse, where would they go to find out like what that? And I don't mean just by being an entrepreneur that's gonna maybe rent space from you,
Right.
but somebody that might be interested in a franchise.
Yeah. So on our website, museoffice.com, if you scroll to the bottom, there is a franchise opportunity landing page. And then that will link you up with our partners at Franchise Marketing Systems. And they've done everything from like Regis to Venture Spaces and some of our other competitors like Industrious and stuff. And so they're the ones that will give you all the information. The page does give you a little bit of, as far as like, numbers and what the cost is. The buy-in for the franchise is $40,000, which is pretty low. We're probably one of the few companies that don't take residuals the first year after you pay your marketing fees and the franchise fee. That's pretty much, we know that's going to be a lot of capital for you up front. So we work with you, and after the first year, we do collect the royalties at 6%.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
This might be a dumb question, but the franchise, is that like a franchise? Can they do it in Vegas still? But because you guys have
they can do it in Vegas as long as it's a 10-mile radius out.
Okay.
And so I changed the qualifications for Vegas because everything is so close here. Houston, you got to drive like an hour, to get anywhere. It's 30 minutes to get to the supermarket. So out there we have like a 25-mile radius because it's so much space. But here, it's locale, and people here, we get spoiled because everything's like 5 minutes, 7 minutes down the road. So like 10 miles is still a good like 20 to 30 minutes here. So, I want to make sure that we target all the areas. So our prime location would be in Paradise, but, I'm definitely open to people that want to open spaces in, here like Green Valley, Summerlin, which is good too, so those are like at least the two primary markets that I'm targeting right now.
Yeah.
And then I think you asked a really good question is like, what type of people would be qualified for those? I would say if you're a business operator, and you have a need for actual office space and employees, let this space pay for, your business. And that's what we did with the franchisee in Florida too, is he has a business consulting business, which, when we vetted it, it was good. So he was able to provide resources to the community too for our, members as well.
Right.
So we integrated his business into the model. And then his wife does like legal consulting for like corporate and commercial companies. So that made sense for them to need an office space. But then now once they open it, their membership is going to pay for their office space. And then everything else is just, icing on the cake.
As far as the location,
I like it's like buying a piece of multi unit property and having them pay your mortgage.
Super dope.
Right. Pretty much.
As far as the locations is, like, would the person have to like find the location too as well?
So no, our team actually does that. So I have a team of realtors. We're partnered with EXP, so they'll come out and do
EXP
survey,
baby.
Yeah. I forgot you're with them too. Yeah. So they'll find the location and help you, build that relationship with the landlord, negotiate tenant allowance and everything. So, just here, I'm gonna let you guys know, like, we are really good at negotiating that. So I paid, hope the tenant, the landlord isn't listening, but they gave us a pretty generous amount, a little bit close to $500,000 for the build. Wow. So, we're coming out very low on like build out costs and everything like that. Nice. So, coming into this space and being a franchisee, we really want to take care of them because long term, like I'm looking at, 6% of, a multi-million-dollar space, which, they're doing well, we're doing well. We're not going to just throw you to the wolves and let you,
fend for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super dope. What are some businesses that usually do well, like the not fail-safe businesses, but, businesses that have a high success rate?
I would say consulting because you're trading, like time and scaling your time, for what you're doing. And then also I feel like a lot of the mental health spaces too, because we have a lot of our spaces house a lot of like counseling and stuff like that.
Okay.
It just makes sense because they share conference rooms and they share amenities and stuff like that, and it's very low overhead, and they just hire a lot of counselors and stuff.
Cool. I got some more questions, but we're gonna take another quick break. We gotta let these camera recharge again, and then we'll get right back to it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Chris Cash, your go-to Las Vegas realtor, here with something special for all my Vegas fans, real estate enthusiasts, and anyone curious about the Vegas lifestyle.
I'm Alan Turner, the Rhythm Realtor, and together we're the hosts of Vegas Lifestyle Podcast. Each week, we're bringing you inside the Vegas real estate market, top neighborhood profiles, and all the lifestyle tips you won't want to miss.
So if you're thinking about buying your first home here, We got you. Want the scoop on the best neighborhoods? We got that covered.
And we're even spotlighting celebrity homes, health and wellness in the city, interviewing some of the best experts around. Trust us, you don't want to miss this.
So if you're ready to explore Las Vegas beyond the Strip,
Hit that follow button and subscribe to the Vegas Life Podcast on all your favorite platforms.
we'll see you on the Vegas Live Podcast.
And we're back. And then you're talking about successful businesses. You said consultant business,
Yeah,
also
I mean, consulting
healthcare.
falls into a lot of different categories, and
Right.
maybe like financial consulting, like business development consulting, personal coaching, so anything where we're trading time, for like resources and assets. I mean, I think those are going to be the best things right now because people are looking for subject matter experts.
To be a customer of Muse, or do you mean to be a
successful business in general that I've seen,
Okay.
is providing like intellectual property. I think that's the biggest thing because physical labor and all that stuff, I mean, that can be replaced by machines and AI.
Right.
But like strategy, consulting in that sense, nothing can replace that at this point. So
Yep.
until we start getting robots that can think for us.
Would you put like a marketing agency in there too as
Yeah,
well?
I think marketing agencies are great. Even real estate, firms that are in our spaces do really well because they're able to network. So anything that drives like networking and social spaces, I mean, those are the businesses that will thrive in our space.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, even like IT companies too, because they're able to operate out of there, be really private, and then also a lot of those IT companies can partner up with our spaces, to help manage like cybersecurity and everything as well. So that's one of the things we do consider is like if you're a membership, like you have a membership with us, we do try to bring in, and scale and help you with your business as well with some services that we need locally.
Super dope. So you did music before. Now you're full on business. What made you make the switch?
Honestly, my age. So, I mean, it's only so much you can do after, like you hit your mid 30s and I'm like knocking off 40 in a couple years. And, my bandwidth, like going out late nights and, performing 2 shows a night, 4 days a week, it's fun and all the drinking and stuff like that. I still want to continue to look younger than I am. So in order for me to preserve that, I need to start, trading like my intellect to get more time back. Right. But then I think Muse was such a great eye opener for me because I thought music was the only thing I could do because it satisfies my creative needs. But building these communities are the same thing. I get to design things. I get to pick how the space looks and feel. I get to connect with people. So it still fulfilled like that same feeling that I need to create something.
Right.
And I think that's what a lot of business owners don't, understand that fail is they don't allow change to happen naturally. And sometimes you don't, you have a vision of what you want to do, but opportunities shape those, like visions, and it can change them and shift you to something else. 10 years from now, I may sell, the whole entire business and go to something else, but I know like my strategy and my drive, my creativity is really what's going to stick with me.
Super dope. And did you go to business school or anything?
I did. So I have a master's in business administration and a minor in marketing. But to be honest though, I just laced Sally Mae, what is it called now? Navient, the lenders. I was like, I just, all those college loans, I just laced their pockets. I learned a lot more just being in the industry.
Right.
And marketing, I learned from like a lot of mentors in the music industry. So I actually worked at Sony BMG under Epic. And so Sylvia Rohn, she's like the CEO of Epic right now, was like one of my mentors. And then when I moved to Houston, I actually got to work with Music World Entertainment, which was a company owned by Beyonce's dad, Matthew. And when her mom was still working out of there too with House of Darion, because her mom is like good friends with my family. So
Super dope. And I always ask this to people: what's your daily schedule and your daily routine?
To be honest, I create like schedules every week, like on Sunday. So I plan out, sometimes it'll be, I'm on like a talk show because I still do a talk show out of Fox in Houston called Guy Talk. It's on Fox Soul. So the producers kind of dictate that schedule, and I go on there, you know, per episode to kind of do what we're doing here is, you know, provide resources and insight from my perspective. And then, of course, like meetings and networking are really a big basis of what I do because I'm a big pictures kind of guy. So I've learned to delegate things to like my business partners to handle like more of like the sales and the operations piece. And, you know, building a strong team your first 5 years in business is really what people need to focus on because you can't do it all. You can't wear all the hats.
Right. And you spoke on being like creative. What would you say is like the greatest quality to have to be successful
in business or
in general?
In general,
in life.
Yeah,
in business.
All right,
and then in life, and then in life.
Yeah, I feel like the creativity part in business is not really trying to invent something new, but looking at, you know, industries that are stable, that are boring, and making them interesting. And that's what we did with Muse. It's, you know, you walk into an office space, you know, like, you know, it's like clock in, clock out. It's numbers, the fluorescent light irritates your eyes. I still have, you know, trauma from corporate, you know, and I was like, I don't want to do that. So why don't I create something that will motivate people to come in, you know, inspire them to really like dedicate to their business and create an all-inclusive solution. So, and that's what it is finding that niche, you know. I hate when people say niche. I'm like, that's not the right way to say it. I'm a stickler for words. It's niche, but yeah, finding that niche in your industry and, you know, and what drives you and motivates you, your passion for that industry is really, you know, where the creativity needs to be rooted from to be successful in business.
Nice. So finding your community, finding your tribe, so to speak.
And, you know, money is great and all, but, you know, not all money is good money. So you need to focus on like the motivation and the passion part, and then everything else will follow. You know, if I was just doing stuff just for money, I'd be in a totally different industry. I would be very miserable. And, you know, allowing myself to make my mistakes and, you know, like scrape my knees and learn from my failures, but, you know, really like catapulted me to where I'm at right now with my business and getting me to a space where like I'm happy with where I'm at.
Nice.
So in building a team, like what's like the first pieces in building a team?
Looking at, you know, things that you can get your time back on. But I would always start with hiring, and I've made mistakes too, not from the bottom up, but from the top down. So, you know, making sure that you cultivate and you train like staff members to take care of like your day-to-day operations, you know, and having somebody there that's going to be a pillar for your sales, having somebody really good with the numbers and, you know, finances, and then you as the business owner focus on the big picture and networking and, you know, connecting with people and keeping that brand image alive. So having those core components is the most important. And then, you know, you scale down so you don't scale up when it comes to hiring employees. Right. And a lot of my guys, my operations manager, she's been with me for 5 years, and I like to, and it just depends on how you look at it, but I like to develop people. So, and that's the business is, you know, for me to bring somebody into a space that they're highly motivated and hungry and help them build, you know. And a lot of my guys, they used to live, you know, with their parents. They didn't understand how to be independent. And all my employees within the past 5 years, you know, they've been able to be independent. They've moved out. They've grown financially, you know, like just broaden their horizons. And that's something that also motivates me to do what I do.
So you're a big investor in people.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Do you read? Do you read books?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are what's the last couple books that you read?
I think, you know, coming from a background without like money and, you know, being broke, you know, coming from Inglewood, like Rich Dad Poor Dad was a really good book for me to really, you know, like base, you know, how I make decisions and stuff.
Yeah, that's super dope. Have you played the cash flow game?
I haven't.
Yeah, I played that with my son. That thing is fun, dude.
Yeah, no, and the kids, you know, like I think that's like an important thing for me too, because I do a lot of activism work, but just, you know, having financial literacy, especially our schools over here don't teach that, you know, like a lot of these kids don't even know how to balance, you know, like a checking account. And I mean, we used to learn a whole lot more when I was in school, you know, and I sound so old saying that, but
back in my day.
Yeah, back in my day, right? Yeah. But I remember hiring, you know, I mean, they're way better now, but my community manager, and she didn't know how to write a check. And I'm like, what are they teaching you in school, you know? And it's just like now they're like well versed in everything, and I'm like very proud to see that they've grown. My director of marketing, he was living with his family for since he got out of school, and his first job was with us, and his first time moving out on his own, it was here to Vegas, so I relocated him over here.
That's awesome.
And that's to run the offices, right?
So he's helping me with the development right now and like the pre-marketing strategies and pre-sale strategies for the Vegas location. But I have a core team that's all corporate for the franchise, and he's part of that. And then each location has their own community manager to manage, the space and report back on the numbers and everything.
Cool.
Boom, boom.
How big is the team that you need to run a franchise usually?
I'd say about 4 to 5 people deep is like the baseline. Just be careful on labor because, that's why I said hire from the top, because you want to put all your resources into hiring good people that you can depend on. And sometimes, of course, you do have to, lend a hand and develop them, but do not hire, like from the bottom up, because that's what happens is people like spend money on like 5 or 6 like assistants and like minimal jobs, things that you don't really necessarily need, and it's eating away at your bottom line.
Wow. Top business advice you could give to our listeners that are like
have a plan for when you fail. I know that sounds crazy because we all go into business thinking, like it's all going to be, like daisies and, like flowers and sunshine, but it's not always going to be like that. And the fact that you have to pick something you're passionate about. Also, when I interview my franchisees, because not everybody that gives us money we're going to accept as a franchisee, I have to know that the goals are motivated, with the business and are aligned with the business. Because whenever, let's say we go through another COVID or something like that, I need to know that they're resilient, and that protects our brand and protects, their success level as well. So just finding that passion and then planning, for a rainy day, I think is really important.
Super dope.
And multiple revenue streams.
Okay.
Our space, even though it's an office space, we have 6 to 7 multiple revenue streams in the space. So, we have the mailboxes, the addresses, we have conference room bookings, we have event bookings, we have group meeting contracts, with like B&I groups and stuff. And we also, do like private office, leasing and co-working membership. So it's a lot of different things. So when there's a down season, something else is supporting that.
Many vehicles.
Yeah. Anything else? You got any other questions?
No.
Yeah, I'm good too.
Do you still do music? Like, do you still like write music or
everybody keeps saying I should go back. So I'm a big like R&B crooner, like 90s R&B.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
perfect. We should collab on something.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
And I have music. The last thing I did was in 2019. It was the EP called In the Key of D. So I do better music. So outside, people that know me from the business side are surprised. They're like, "Are you half naked on that billboard?" Like, when was this? And I'm like, it was like in my late 20s and stuff like that. But yeah, I do want to do something, and within the next like couple of years, just to kind of like pay homage to the industry that helped me out to get where I'm at right now. But then at the end of the day too, I think I do need to close that chapter, and I haven't fully closed it yet. So maybe something at 40.
Yeah, you don't really have to though. That's the other part.
I mean, I just don't want to look like Keith Sweat still trying to bump and grind at 60 on stage.
People still need to bump and grind in their 60s. So,
I'm not gonna be on stage doing that. So you got to know when to hold them, when to fold them, right?
Yeah. Well, I definitely reached out to you about the Cook Up, the event series that my production company is doing and rolling out here this year. So definitely want to get your input on that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I love providing resources to up and coming artists and stuff, because you have to start looking at it as a business perspective, because everybody comes in, for the parties and the creativity part, and that's like 20% of it. The rest of the 80% is all business, and if you don't understand that, you can fail.
Super dope. We're gonna do a record that's like gonna be talking about business. We're gonna promote businesses. It's gonna be super lit.
For hustlers,
entrepreneurs. That is the Vegas Life Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much.
All right, and then we're out.
Peace.
Got anything else? You got anything else?